Hi, everyone. This week we're going to focus our efforts on the study of water efficiency. And in this topic, we'll start with an introduction to water issues. First, why is this important? Why do we care about water? Why are we studying it? And moving to an introduction of some of the basic concepts. Then we'll move on to the lead category of water efficiency and talk about design strategies for indoor and outdoor water use. So why exactly do we care about water? Well, water is necessary to sustain life, and although there is a lot of it here on Earth, only a very, very small percent is both drinkable, potable is the word, and accessible, meaning that we can get it to our homes and our living places. And therefore, there's vast parts of the world. There's a lot of places that don't have enough drinking water, including here in the United States. Why do we as architects and designers care about water use? Well, it turns out that buildings consume a fairly large amount of our potable water, 14% at this last uh, counting, all right? And most of that water, much of that water, goes down the toilet or onto lawns. It's not actually being consumed by humans. So let's take a look at these graphs. On the left, we have residential water use, and you can see that a great deal of it goes out to our lawns. All right. Other important segments include toilet use, and look at that, leaks. Water is simply wasted, at least 6% of it. On the right-hand side of your slide, you can see that water use varies by type of building in the commercial and institutional buildings. All right, so let's just take a look right here at the office buildings. All right, this amount of water is used by domestic and restroom uses. That's including drinking water and toilets, all right, and sinks. We've got a large amount used for cooling and heating systems. Another large chunk of it is the landscaping. There's those lawns again, all right. And finally, some is used for kitchen use. So now that you've seen where your water goes, let's talk about how to use less water in the first place. Water efficiency is the term for reducing consumption of water using efficient or low flow fixtures and appliances. Now, these low flow fixtures have a bad name and a bad reputation, but trust me, the technology has greatly improved since they first came out in the 70s and 80s, and they're much better now. Okay. When you are specifying water efficient fixtures, look for the WaterSense label. WaterSense is a US EPA program that measures and controls the water use of domestic fixtures. In an effort to reduce total consumption of potable water, you can actually collect and reuse water on site. Here's some important vocabulary terms that have to go with this. All right. And the first one is white water. White water you're not going to hear very often. You more often hear the term potable water or drinking water. And this is the typical water comes from the tap, and humans can drink it, bathe in it, and use it. It's going to come from municipal water systems or on-site wells. Your next term is gray water. And gray water is going to be water that's not clean enough for drinking, but it's not contaminated with waste. It can be collected from showers, baths, sinks, washing machines, but it also includes captured rainwater. Gray water is often used in irrigation systems and in some building process water systems. Black water is our last term. This is water contaminated with waste coming from toilets, and we're going to send that water on to the municipal processing system. On that same topic, let's talk about wastewater treatment. Where does the water go when we're done using it? The standard methods of handling wastewater include sending it to the municipal treatment system, or if there isn't one, a septic system, and you'll see that in rural sites. There are some better solutions, environmentally better at least, including on-site treatment using natural processes. So I encourage you to read about those in your textbook. The last of our basic concepts about water, let's talk about landscaping and irrigation. You saw how much of our potable water is going to landscaping in an earlier slide. And it's, quote, a given, right, that most buildings in the US are surrounded by lawns. However, most lawns are just decoration. They're rarely used for recreation or enjoyment. And so it turns out that there are some better options, easier to maintain and ecologically preferable. And one of those is called xeriscaping. Xeriscaping is a style of landscaping that minimizes the use of water. You've probably heard of this one. It could be called water-wise landscaping, or drought-tolerant, drought-proof, or dry gardening, excuse me. Another option is edible yards. And this is the idea that you still use water, but you use it to grow food instead of grass. So edible yards will use food plants as design features in the landscaping. And let's end here with an example from your textbook. We have a lawn on the left in the before picture, and on the right, that lawn's been replaced by xeriscaping. So they've got some drought-tolerant gardening going on, and you can see that this is still an attractive landscaping method. Thanks, everyone. In this video, we just covered some of the basic concepts of water efficiency.